Tell you what, stick a fork in me, I'm done. I have been so hot today. It's unbelievable. But apparently it's going to be 24 tomorrow, which doesn't sound particularly cold, but it's a lump cooler than today. 31 is probably what it's been around here. So that just goes to show we have got a hot summer. Thankfully, I haven't been outside too much today, so that's a good thing. I don't want to get sunburned or anything like that. Mind you, I got sunburnt the other week when I was walking around Solihull. So that's just starting to peel on my arms now. So that's eventually sorting itself out. Anyway, it's a public stream tonight. So as well as the members who were all here first off, I've been watching the ticker on the right-hand side of my screen here. Loads of members turned up and no non-members. The first few have just decided to come in now. We have Mike here, Jade, Sean, Robin's here, and we've got Charlotte, Dave Birch, Dave Scott, Richard, Joseph, all familiar names who are usually here when it's a public stream. We only do one of these sort of once every 3 months, so take advantage of this opportunity to say hello, people. It's good to see you all. Good to see so many people coming back to see me again. So yeah, and of course, if you're a non-member and you want to have this every week, join up. Why not? Why not? You know, you can have this this bit of half-hour banter every week if you know what to do. Good evening, Alice. Hello to you too. Brilliant. Good to see you all. So as you all know this because I did put a post up earlier. This week we have a break. We have no videos at all until next Monday. This will be a regular thing now. We'll do this 4 times a year. At the end of March, a spring break if you like. In end of June, it's for a summer break. At the end of September for an autumn break. And then of course the usual break at Christmas time in the winter. And yeah, that's a good way to do it, I think, because that allows you time to catch up on things that you may have missed, because at the rate I put stuff out, it's understandable if you don't watch it all in one go. But you've got a week to catch up. And of course, it gives me a bit of scope as well, you know, a bit of freedom to get ahead again. So, yeah, I think it's a good plan. Oh, it's your first stream, is it, Charlotte? Well, welcome. You are welcome to be here as many times as you like when it's public. Of course, if it's a members one and you're not a member, you know what to do. So anyway, I have Nikki with me, who is currently to my right stitching. The girls are upstairs. Oh, there's Nikki just waving. Hello. Yeah, the girls are upstairs. They've decided to basically disappear up there because it's a bit warm, as you know. It's quite warm in this front room. I've got the fan blasting me in the face right now. It's usually cooler up there, so they're probably best off out of the way. Oh, good evening, Angie. You and Roger watching. I think I've mentioned you guys before to the members in previous streams. If you don't know, people, Angie and Roger, they watch every single video, and they like to play a little game where they try and guess the average house prices before they see them on screen, and they try and guess the village name, the meaning of the village name before it comes up on screen. I don't know what the actual score is right now, but I think Roger's generally winning. Did you get it yesterday, you guys? Oh no, you wouldn't have got it yesterday, would you? Because Borofen didn't have any average house prices. So yeah. Good morning, Dave. It's Australia down there, isn't it, for you? I don't want to, you guys have got winter at the moment, haven't you? You've got no idea what this heat's like at the moment. Charlotte says, say hello to Nicola. Love to see all of her whips today. You're gonna get a thumbs up for that, Charlotte. So you must be one of Nikki's subscribers. Yeah. You're welcome in here as well. Of course you are. So I'm going to tell you now what's basically coming your way in the next couple of weeks, because as you know, it's a break this week, but you guys want to know what's coming up afterwards, don't you? So I've got the next sort of 4 weeks all sorted out, and you will get a run of Blaby ones when we come back. Blaby is in Leicestershire for the first time we've touched that area. It's available to the members now. I know some of you guys have watched that already and made a few comments about a few bits and bobs. So, yeah, when that comes out, everybody else can see what's going on. The week after that, we have the big Solihull run. Now, the non-members might not know about this, but I did a couple of weeks ago a huge continuous walk through 5 in Solihull in one go. It was it was a bit of a ridiculous thing to do when you consider the length of this walk. It was 35 kilometers non-stop. The only times I did actually stop is when I wanted a drink from a shop. I made sure I passed loads of those. That's how I got sunburns on my arms. It was the maddest thing I've ever done, ever, and that includes the London special that we did last year. So that will be coming out the week after that. Then it all calms down again the week after that, because then you've got, I believe it's an East Lindsey run, which is a lot easier, a lot smaller places. And this weekend, should I say, I'm off into Staffordshire Moorlands for the first time, and those will also be pretty small as well. So yeah, they've got some interesting stuff coming up in July. So hopefully you enjoy all of that. Angie says, I'm winning by a whisker. Well, there's plenty of time for Roger to catch you back up, isn't there? I love the fact you guys have got the got this little game going. It's fantastic. You should keep a little scoreboard so we can all be invested in the score. You know what I mean? Anyway, John says, had no idea whether there was a break this week. You must have missed my post earlier then, John. I put one both up on YouTube and up on my Facebook page as well. But now you know there is a break this week. It will be a regular thing going forward. So Richard says, did I go to Hampton in Arden? No, I didn't go to Hampton in Arden because that wasn't the area I was touching. The area I did of Solihull was the 5 that are to the extreme north of it. All used to be in Warwickshire years and years ago, but not anymore. They're all part of the West Midlands now. Some people don't recognise the West Midlands as a county these days, but they really should. Anyway, so the 5 were Castle Bromwich, Smiths Wood, nice name, Kingshurst, Ford Bridge, and Chelmsley Wood. And they were all very, very urban. Nothing very village-like about them, let me tell you. Tower blocks and town centres and all kinds of stuff like that. Loads of traffic around. It's funny though, because when you look at the map from about like 100 years ago, none of that's there because it was all built in like the 50s and 60s. So it's not been there very long, 70, 75 years. That's it really. Before that, it was all sort of rural fields, countryside, all that kind of stuff. But we delve into that. Each episode sort of talks about why it was built, what was there before. You're used to that now. This is what I do. I find out all this stuff, don't I? Let's see. Richard says bloody expensive houses over there. There are a few, let me tell you. Yes, there will be. There will be. But then again, it's kind of offset by all the tower blocks because I imagine they're not exactly pricey. Most of them be council, won't they? I would have thought. Anyway. Joseph says, I certainly struggle to class West Midlands as an official county. There is a Facebook page out there called Campaign for Historic Counties. And what basically it does is it tries to promote the idea that the counties that we have right now aren't exactly real entities. And it harks back to the days when the county boundaries were different. And this is, as I was saying, the area of Solihull I went to was historically in Warwickshire. And most people who live there will tell you that it probably should be still Warwickshire right now. But of course, things change. The geopolitical nature of the country alters, doesn't it? And these days, technically it's not. But there are people out there that would say it is. And the Campaign for Historic Counties basically does that. So it's quite funny, actually. If you do follow that page and you look at some of the posts that this guy puts out, I think it's just one guy that's behind it. I don't actually know, but I think it's just one guy. You look at some of the posts he puts out and you look at the sort of old boundaries, as it were, compared to what we have now. And it's quite amazing how things have changed quite a lot. I mean, for example, the one that springs to mind straight away is Oxfordshire, because if you look at the modern Oxfordshire boundaries, it actually looks like it makes sense. Oxford's right in the middle of it, and all around it is Oxfordshire. But the historic boundaries of the place are very weird because Oxford's right on the boundary with Berkshire. A lot of Oxfordshire now used to be in Berkshire. It's very strange, but that's how it is. Right, Dave Birch says they did a similar thing when South Yorkshire was created in the 70s. Some West Riding places moved to North Yorkshire, some moved to West, and the rest became South. Yeah, absolutely. And I'm actually seeing it myself in a few places because earlier this week, this weekend just gone, I should say, I was up in Rydale. I was in a place called Cram, and there was a sort of signpost at a junction with one of them roundels. We see them occasionally, and that said North Riding on it, which technically speaking, we were still in North Yorkshire at that point, but of course it was called the North Riding back then, so it was different, wasn't it? So, oh, hello, Tegan. Love this. You're new. I've not seen you before. Hello. Whoever you are, you're welcome in here. Absolutely. Glad that you're loving this stream. If you want to see me every week do this, then join up, become a member. All my family are watching you now. Shout us out. Hello, Tegan's family. Hello to you all. Okay, Joseph, if I can get back on Facebook, that will be a group to look at, as I've been looking at those sort of things a lot recently. Cool. Yeah, you should, Joseph. Yeah, it's an interesting sort of page to follow. When I scroll down my Facebook, because I'm in so many different groups for different areas that I've joined, so I can promote videos and that. It's just basically wall-to-wall stuff, exactly like that. And it can be quite interesting just to scroll down the feed for 5 minutes. You can learn all sorts. So, Charlotte says, I'm learning more from the UK than others from the Netherlands. Thanks, Andy. Excellent. Charlotte, you should be quite interested then, if you are Dutch, because your name sounds Dutch. I don't know if you are. You should be quite interested in the ones I did at the back end of last week, the Newborough/Borough Fen ones, because they were obviously Fenland areas drained by Vermeulen, who was a Dutch engineer. So if you watch that, you'd probably learn a bit more about one of your countrymen. So, okay. John says, can't believe it's a heat wave over there when I'm here thinking of investing in a golf umbrella. Is it raining in Ireland, John? Must be by the sounds of it. Brilliant. Oh dear. It's funny, isn't it? It's funny. In one part of the country, it can be bright sunshine, 30-odd degrees, and then literally a few miles away, it can be absolutely tipping it down. Now, as you know, I come from a family, a rural family. My dad was a farm worker for quite a number of years, and he always says that it was funny. He could be in one field where it was bright sunshine, and then the next field, the farmers have had to pack up because it's throwing it down and they can't get any work done. So, yeah, it's funny how it works, isn't it? Dave says they were called ridings because it's Old Dutch for a third. When South Yorkshire was created, they had to change the names. Yes, indeed, they did. Indeed. And that campaign for historic counties actually tells you a bit about that. When they have a cycle of posts, which comes around every so often. They just recycle it all the time. They add extra bits as well, but usually when they hit Yorkshire, they do explain that for people who don't understand it. So yeah, it's a very unique thing in Yorkshire. It's not really a thing for every county. So Hannah's just come back downstairs with fresh clothes on. Been very sweaty today, haven't you, Hannah? Okay. Richard says, when are you going to Wisbeach? Well, it won't be this year, Richard. I'll tell you that for free. As you know, I've done 5 of the Fenland ones now. There's 11 left. There's not many. Wisbeach is one of them. And, of course, I will be doing it at some point. But I've got no plans to do it this year. Having said that, I will be going back to Cambridgeshire at some point this year because it's become a tradition now to go there just before Christmas. And yesterday, I looked at the area that I will be going to at some point just before Christmas this year, but it's not there. It's not there. It's close to St. Neots where I'll be going. Assuming my plans all come together, which I'm sure, barring any disasters, I'm sure they will. So,
I
Charlotte
might not
says,
let you go.
what, to St. Neots?
I might not let you go.
Why not?
Because I might just kidnap you and keep you here.
I'll take, you know what? I'll take you with me to St. Neots. How's that?
I'll be busy working.
I'm sure St. Neots is a nice little town. I've never been to it before. So I've been through it on a train before, but I've never actually been to it. So yeah, we'll sort that out at some point. It's a long way away, so I wouldn't worry about it too much. Catwoman Jones says, hope my little fluffy butt is well. Obviously meaning Angel the cat. Angel is quite warm right now, and being covered in fur is not ideal for her. So effectively at the moment it's just the kind of case of finding somewhere cool for her. You know what I mean?
Laying like Cleopatra in any place where it's remotely cool.
Yeah, I think so. Anyway, Robin says, 1 week I was living in the West Riding of Yorkshire, the next I was in North Yorkshire. Yes, that must have been very strange when they altered that. Tegan says, what did you think to Winkburn? That's going back a bit, Tegan. That was back in Newark, wasn't it? That was a nice little village, actually. The one defining thing that I remember about that episode was the fact that when I was driving into Winkburn, I nearly had an accident with a car coming the other way because he was on my side of the road. That's the only thing I can really remember about it, apart from the fact it was a nice walk around, which didn't last very long because it was only a small one. Dave says, even though Humberside went back to being called the East Riding of Yorkshire, it did, yes. It did for a short time. Very strange setup in Humberside there. Catwoman Jones says, have you been back to Warwickshire yet? Well, technically speaking, yes, because I was in Solihull in those areas which used to be Warwickshire. So yes, I suppose you could say I have. I don't have any immediate plans to go back to what is actually Warwickshire these days, aside from potentially doing a couple of them when I do the next Blaby run. That's not definite yet, though. I have potentially looked at crossing the border, but I'll get back to you on that. I don't know for definite yet. Alice says, will you be doing Hemmingford Grey? Now, where is Hemmingford Grey? I ask myself, because that's a name I don't know. I'll just call it up on the map, and I'll have a look myself. Hemmingford Grey. Let's have a look. Whereabouts is that? Looks like it's in Essex, I think. Oh, no, hang on a minute. Is it in Essex? Oh, no. No, it's not. Not in Essex. It's Cambridgeshire, by the looks of it. There's something big flying over. It's a helicopter. I could see it out the window there. Yeah? Are they? I'm sure you guys can hear that. Big helicopter flying across.
How many times have I got to tell you, stop shoplifting?
I think it was an army helicopter as well, from what I could see out of the window just there. Anyway, as I was saying, Hemmingford Grey, right. So that is Cambridgeshire as well, looking at this map here. Not far from Godmanchester and Huntingdon.
Oh, we like Godmanchester.
Yes, we do like Godmanchester, don't we? And it's actually closer to St Ives, looking at this. No, Alice is the answer. I won't be doing that when I go down towards St Neots. The area I'll be doing is around Packworth Everard. So that's not far from Hemmingford Grey, actually. It's only a couple of miles away, looking at the map. So, yeah, but it's not. I haven't planned to do it on this particular rundown. So it will be done, of course, at some point. You know it will. Richard, still got the old faithful Mazda? Yes, indeed I have. I cleaned that car to within an inch of its life the other day because... and Hannah says it's still falling to pieces. No, it's not. I cleaned it out, inside and out, because Lauren had a prom on this weekend, this Friday just gone. And I wanted to make sure it was clean inside and out because you want to arrive at something like that in... a decent fashion, don't you? There were plenty of cars pulling up outside Wentworth Woodhouse, which is where the prom was held, which, shall we say, must have cost an arm and a leg. There were Porsches, there were Ferraris, there were Range Rovers, there were convertibles. There was even one car that had outriders with it. Copious amounts of money had been spent just on transport getting to Wentworth Woodhouse.
Any car you can name, it was there.
It was indeed, absolutely. And so I wanted to make the effort. I can't afford a car like that. It's a dream, really. So I basically just went to town on my car and made sure it looked spick and span. And that way Lauren's dress didn't get mucky. I think, are you doing what I think I think you're doing? Nikki's just calling up some photographs on her tablet so I can show you. So I can show you Lauren in her prom dress. Now, if you watch the Pocklington episode, you can actually see Lauren in her prom dress because that's where it came from. It came from a charity shop in Pocklington. But that was a year ago. And this is what Lauren looked like the other day wearing said prom dress in a photo next to me. There we go. I'll just try and get that as close into the screen as I can, which is not an easy job. There you go. There's our Lauren with me outside of Grandad's house. So yeah, if you watched the Pocklington episode, you've already seen that dress. And Lauren looks absolutely fabulous in that. You know, that dress only cost 14 quid from that charity shop in Pocklington. But, you know, you wouldn't think it, would you? You wouldn't think it. I mean, brand new, it's probably way more than that. But, you know, you can find some good stuff in charity shops, can't you? So, yeah. Looks great, doesn't it? And Lauren, we are dead proud of Lauren as well, because to get into that prom dress,
She had to
lose a little bit of weight. And, you know,
and she did.
props to her.
That's that.
You know, lost that weight and probably a bit more besides, actually. So really, really good. Absolutely fantastic. So yeah, that's the story of Lauren's prom. Now, if you're a Stitchy follower of Nikki, you already know about that. But now everybody knows about it too. Just going to scroll back up the comments a while here, people, because, you know, a lot of comments have come in here, and as I was showing you that, I kind of got a little bit lost in myself. Joseph says, St Neots is one of those places I'm looking at in Cambridgeshire, along with others down there. Only had a brief walk around Peterborough just a month ago. Yeah, I don't know much about St Neots myself. Like I said, I've only ever been through it on a train, and even then the train didn't stop. So I've literally just seen the station. That's all I've seen out of a train window. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to actually get down there and have a look at the place. I won't actually be doing the town itself because I'll be doing some villages around it. But the chances are my hotel will probably be down there, somewhere in the town or just on the outskirts. I don't know. Mike says, our two cats have been asleep most of the day on the stone tiles in the kitchen and the glass coffee table. Bit cooler. Yeah, I think that's what Angel needs, something like that. We have a tiled floor in the kitchen, but I don't think Angel tends to go in the kitchen much, honestly. So, yeah, I don't know. Pete says, when are you coming to North Hykeham? Now then, sir, I have been to North Hykeham. It's ready to come out. You just haven't seen it yet. North Hykeham is going to come out in a few weeks' time. It's going to be on a weekend. It'll be on a Saturday, actually. And the Sleaford episode, which will be the last one in North Stephen, will come out the day after. I haven't been to Sleaford yet. I'm going there in a couple of weeks' time to make that episode. And trust me, it's going to be a big one. It may even be 2 hours long, because the script I wrote it the other day, I said the other day, it took me 2 days to write it, 15,000 just over words, which is a lot, because the biggest one I'd done previously was something in the region of sort of 8,000, so it's going to be a big episode, but it's going to be an enjoyable walk, and I'm looking forward to it immensely. So yeah, that answers that question. I've been to North Hykeham. 3.5 hours it took me to walk around it. Just FYI. Tegan, it's a warm one. Yes, indeed it is. Mike says Coast Guard helicopter according to ADSB, whatever ADSB is. Fair enough.
Like flight radar.
It's a bit like flight radar, I'm assuming. Let's get myself a bit more comfortable here because I'm slipping down on the sofa. Okay, will you ever do an episode in Ludford? It's a small village, not a lot there, but it's nice. Yes, indeed, I will do Ludford at some point. I know exactly where it is, not a million miles away from Market Raisin. It's an area of East Lindsey I've not yet covered, but as you know, East Lindsey is on the go, so at some point I will be in Ludford. Don't worry about that. So, Robin said it's Coast Guard according to Flight Radar as well. Joseph, Newark and Sherwood is a lovely part of Nottinghamshire. I recently visited. Your series inspired me to go there. Really want to go in a helicopter in the future. Well, been there, done that, sir. If you watch the Staverton episode in Gloucestershire there, you'll see a a photo of me after being in a helicopter for a bit. Bit of a scary experience trying to fly the thing, honestly, but it was nice at least. Dave says, I'm now listening for that helicopter as I'm not a million miles away. It was going the wrong way from you, Dave. It was heading north. You're south from me. So, yeah, you probably won't hear it. Mike says, Lauren looked lovely on the photos. Nice dress, Lauren, a nice photo. Andy says, Charlotte, thank you. Tegan looked great. Fantastic. Yeah, everybody loved Lauren in that dress. It's like I said, 14 quid from a charity shop. You can't go wrong. You can't go wrong, can you? You know, it's amazing what you can find in a charity shop.
The jewellery cost more than the dress.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, absolutely it did. Yeah, but
Individual pieces cost more than the dress.
To be fair though, Nikki, even the jewellery wasn't massively expensive, was it? You know, so. But then when you consider when you sort of roll up to the prom, Lauren's getting out of the car wearing that, which hasn't cost the earth. And then you compare to some of the other people who are there who have obviously spent ridiculous amounts. You just think, you know, what's the point in spending so much money when you can do it cheaper than that and still look fantastic? I don't know. I'm just a thrifty type, aren't I suppose. Anyway, Joseph says, I love excellent buys from charity shops. Yeah, you got people here who will agree with you on that. John says, when you become famous for the person to visit all parishes, then you can buy yourself that Porsche. Well, yeah. You know what? Porsches aren't usually my thing. Don't get me wrong. If someone offered me one, I would take it. But no, honestly, I'm just happy driving the car I've got at the moment. You know, I don't go out there looking for something flash like a Porsche or a Ferrari or something like that. It's not what I do. I come from a working class background. You know, I'm not the kind of person that aspires to be rich and famous. I never have. You know, that's not my thing. I mean, don't get me wrong. If the money came in and I was able to afford such a thing, I'm not saying I wouldn't buy a car like that, but it's kind of ingrained in my soul that that's not who I am. No, I don't think so. I'm a down to earth guy. You know what I mean? I'm not flash. I'm not arrogant. I'm not, you know, not the kind of thing that.
Not materialistic.
No, not material. That's the word I'm looking for. Thanks, Nikki. So, okay. Dave says, I've only been through Ely on the train. Would love to visit it properly. Indeed. Ely is East Cambridgeshire, which I haven't started yet. Although I did look at it the other day to sort of work out maybe if I could start it this year. I'm not sure if I want to or not yet. We'll see. Someone's been asking on Nikki's videos about Swaffham Prior, which isn't far from Ely, and that's in East Cambridgeshire. I did look at that the other day and thought maybe, because there's a nice little run you can do there. There's I can't remember the names of the other villages. There's like 4 in a little cluster, which they're all about a mile from each other. And I looked at that and thought, yeah, that's a nice little cluster. I could maybe do that in one go. But at the moment, I've changed my mind about it. We'll see. I might change my mind back again. We'll see. Anyway, that's kind of how I plan my runs. You know, I just have the map in front of me, 2 maps usually, because I usually have the one on city population, which shows me the sort of boundaries of places, and then I have Google Maps. Compare the 2 side by side, and then basically look for a little cluster together like that. That's what I do to plan runs, and it usually works. So, anyway, Catwoman Jones says, I've got a Fiesta, but hubby has a brand new Lexus 4x4. Very nice. You see, I don't understand even why people buy cars like that, to be honest with you. Why people buy 4x4s? Because, you know, for just running around town, do you really need a 4x4? You know what I mean? I'm happy with my little family car. It does me well. It's good on fuel as well. You know, I don't spend that much on fuel. It's quite fuel efficient. So, and it's diesel as well. That goes further than petrol usually. So, Dave says, we never had a prom when I was at school back in the dark ages. We did, Dave. It was what year are we on? 2025. My prom would have been in 2002. So 23 years ago now. My prom was actually in a place we've covered. Bassetlaw, if you watch the Barnby Moor video, my prom was at the Old Bell, the pub, the old coaching in there on the Great North Road. Compared to Wentworth Woodhouse, bit of a come down, if you like. But even so, even inside that pub, it's quite big, and it was good enough for what we needed. Put it that way. So it was a great night, I have to admit. From what I remember of it, it's a long time ago, 23 years. So Robin says Ely is a lovely place to visit. I can imagine it is. Richard, convert Old Faithful into a car camper and you could save on hotels. Well, it's doable. People have done it before. Convert like vans and things into campers. So Joseph, Ely is also on my Cambridgeshire wish list. Oops, hang on a minute. Been around another Ely, which is in Cardiff. Oh, I didn't know there is one. Didn't know there was one in Wales, but apparently there is. Alice says, Nikki's got me hooked on a particular charity shop Facebook page. Don't think I've ever seen anything so bizarre in the Mansfield charity shops, but I'm keeping my eye out. Which group is that?
Is it Charity Shop SH1T?
That one. I'm in that as well, I think. I think I'm in that group. I'm not 1,000,000% sure if I am, but I think I might be. Up here, hang on, Nick, I'll show you a comment. There, look. That one, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. Nikki spelt it out, so. Dear. I don't know. John says, how many parishes are in England? Easy question, 10,474. So, I thought you knew that, John. Long time fan.
As it stands, 10,000.
Yeah, it may change. It has changed. It's already changed once since I've been doing this. It might change again. I'm kind of expecting it to. Catwoman Jones says it's a hybrid car, so it doesn't cost the earth to run, but I prefer my car. Each to their own. Dave left school in 92, showing my age now. 10 years older than me then, Dave. Let's see. Mike says, worth mentioning the Facebook post about choosing from the districts not started, Andy. Yes, indeed it is, Mike. Yes, I kind of forgot about that, So much happened just lately. So the non-members don't know about this. I don't think they do anyway. A few weeks ago, I put up a big poll in the Village People group with a list of all the 107 districts that have not yet started. Sounds a lot, but some of them have only got like 2 or 3 in them. So, it's not necessarily as massive as it sounds. The idea was that you guys voted for which one you wanted to see me go to over any other. And because there were so many, I said the idea would potentially be better if I sort of cut that list down to like a top 10 or something, or maybe a top 5, and then put it up again so you guys could vote for which one you wanted to see me go to. I completely forgot about this list. So tomorrow, when I finished writing, I've got a couple of scripts to write tomorrow. So when I finish doing that, I'll go into the group and I will basically end the sort of voting process on that poll, make another poll, and then you guys can vote again for which one you want me to go to. At the minute, I think it was Scarborough that was sort of topping that list. So yeah, you could well see me in Scarborough at some point. I think some of the Norfolk ones were there as well. So yeah, I will do that. Alice says, quite nice, the Oldie Bell. We had a disco in the school hall one afternoon. Yeah, it's a good pub, that. Really do like it. Not been there since my prom, actually, apart from to film it for the actual episode. Didn't go in. My dad says, always the car brings you from A to B, so the brand or the size is not important. Absolutely right. Absolutely right. If your car gets you from A to B, it doesn't make any difference, does it? Richard says, I drive a 19-year-old Micra for work, never lets me down. If you look after your car, they can get that old, can't they? And you can still run around in them, It's all about vehicle maintenance. If you're good at it, the car will look after you. Simple science, isn't it? Let's see. Dave says, it's strange for how such a small country, there's so many places with the same name. There's another Sheffield in Cornwall and another Maltby near Mablethorpe. Indeed there is. I think we will probably be seeing both of those at some point. I know the Maltby. I don't know the Sheffield, though. You could write on the back of a postage stamp how much I know about Cornwall. I've only ever been there twice, and once was only a fleeting visit because I had to go and fetch an engine. I think it was a bike engine for Nicky's brother. I drove all the way down to Redruth, which is almost at Land's End, and back. I did it in one day. So apart from a brief stop at Launceston to get some fuel, I didn't see much of Cornwall that day. The only other time I've been to Cornwall was on holiday, yonks back, while I was still at school. So yeah, like I said, you could write what I know about Cornwall on the back of a postage stamp. So, oh, what's this you're presenting me with, Nikki?
To remind people.
About TikTok? Yes. Now, you may have seen, you may have not. I do have a TikTok account, which I don't use all that often. But that wrong is being righted at the moment because I'm trying to post a bit more on it these days. And over the last sort of couple of days, I've posted a few short videos on there. I posted one about going to Rydale, like I did at the weekend, and one was a Guess Where I Am, which if you haven't seen it, by the way, that's also on YouTube as well. But there is my TikTok account, if you can see it. You probably can't because it's not in focus there. If you can't,
Andy the Village Idiot.
if you can't see it from there, you're searching for Andy the Village Idiot at Andy the Village Idiot. If you do that, you'll find my TikTok account. There will be a few more bits and bobs on that at some point in the not too distant. A lot of it is from quite a while ago, when it first got created. But yeah, if you're not following me on there and you do have a TikTok account, at Andy the Village Idiot, which I'll put in the chat if you will indulge me 1 second. It's very difficult to do this when I'm trying to talk to the camera. There you go. That's the handle you need. Go and have a look at it. Follow me on it. And yeah, there will be more on there in the not too distant future. Oh dear, sorry. Oh, I've been talking for too long. So, let's see. Stephen Harrison says, hi, first time on. Hello, Stephen. Good to see you. We get new people in here all the time, sir. So you are most welcome to join in the fun and festivities. We are not a million miles away from the end here, though, because these streams only usually last 30 minutes. We do occasionally go over the time, like we've gone over today. We're on 37 at the moment. So we will be wrapping this up pretty shortly. But good to see you. Good to see I've got a new follower in. We don't do these public streams all that often. We only do them once in a blue moon. So if you want to see more of these, then you need to become a member. The join button is somewhere down there. So Anne-Marie says, what is the Facebook app you was talking about, Andy? The Facebook app? Help me out, Anne-Marie. What Facebook app?
Facebook group.
Oh, the group. Oh, right. Is that what you mean, the group? The Facebook group is the Village People. If you just basically put the Village People into Facebook and search for groups, you'll probably get some for the band with the dodgy hairstyles. But one of those groups will be me. And if you successfully find said group, go and join. The easiest way to find the group, actually, is by going to any one of my videos and looking in the comment section, because there's always links under my videos for all my source material. And underneath them, there's a few other bits and bobs. There's a link to my Instagram, there's a link to my Facebook page, and there's also a link to the Facebook group. So if you do that, then you will find the group. Come and join. Not any new members in there for a bit, actually. So yeah, it'd be good to get someone new. Dave says, well, it's actually called Maltby Marsh, but the petrol station is called Maltby Service Station. Yeah, it is Maltby Marsh. Yeah, I do know that, Dave, because it's not far from Mablethorpe, which is my parents' favourite go-to place at the seaside. Oh, speaking of which, if you're familiar with Skegness, you may have seen that within the last couple of days, there's been a new attraction built on the seafront in Skegness. It's called the Big Ben Tower, and it's something stupid like 170, 180 feet tall, maybe even taller than that. I can't remember the exact height. And basically, it's like a big carousel except the cars aren't. They're not horses. They're suspended by chains off this big rotary thing, and it sort of swirls you around high above the seafront. And this guy posted a video of him on it, and I just felt sick because it was so high up in the air. So yeah, we will definitely be seeing that in Skeg when we eventually get to Skeg, probably a couple of years away at least yet. So yeah, if you're not sure about, if you've not seen that, then yeah, go and have a look. It looks terror-inducing, I'll be honest with you. It really does. Joseph says, have I mentioned something as you mentioned Bassett? Well, remembered, sorry. Have I remembered something as you mentioned Bassett Law? That was the last district to be rounded up, which reminds me, can you do videos on old features which are now defunct? I might have to read that again, Joseph, because I don't actually understand what you've written there. Hang on. Have I remembered something as you mentioned Bassett Law? That was the last district to be rounded up, which reminds me if you can do videos on old features which are now defunct. I think I'm just being thick because I don't get that. Send me a message, Joseph. I'll talk to you privately about that in a bit. Let's see. Stephen says, when you visited Newton in Nottinghamshire, you showed a windmill stump and a little bit of history of it. It was owned by my great uncle Walter. Small world, isn't it? Indeed it is. Ah, Trevor's here. Hello, Trevor. Trevor Halstead has entered the chat. He's the guy who sponsors most of the Lincolnshire and Derbyshire videos I have up at the moment. You will always see his advert on anything Lincolnshire related, and most of the Derbyshire stuff as well. Good to see you, Trevor. You're never late, sir. Don't worry about it. You can always catch this on replay anyway. So when this stream's ended, go back to the beginning and you can watch everything you've missed. So good to see you anyway. We haven't had a catch up for a bit. I've not been down your way for a while anyway. So yeah, good to see you. Good to see you. Richard says, I see a lot of village idiots all the time when I'm out and about. Yes, indeed. Indeed. Yes. Anyway, right. We are way over time. We're at 42 minutes. But it's good because these public streams, they are very active normally because not everybody gets the chance to do this. So it's good to have these public streams every once in a while. It's really, really good. So thanks everybody for joining in. It's great that 40 odd, 50 odd of you at one point were in here talking to me. Brilliant. So the next public stream will be in 3 months' time. It'll probably be when we have the break at the end of September. So yeah. Between now and then, it's basically back to members again. So if any of you guys fancy joining me on the regular, the join button, members join button, I'll keep promoting this as much as possible. It's down there somewhere. If you're on a laptop, it'll probably be elsewhere. I don't know exactly where it is. But yeah, click on the join button, take you through to the options, come and join up and become a member. And then you can see me do this again every week, basically. We do get up to some funny things and talk about some funny subjects, me and the members, don't we, guys? So anyway, I had better disappear and try and find a cool spot. Even though I've had the fan on me for 45 minutes, I'm still very warm. It's still 20 odd degrees at the moment. So yeah. Anyway, I'm going to go. So thanks everybody for joining me. Yeah, it's been a fun stream. It's been good to see you all. I will see you in a week's time when I'll return with main videos next Monday in Blaby. And then it'll be continuous videos then until we have the break at the end of September. So thanks very much, guys. See you later. Bye-bye. Have a good one. Have a good summer.